What is up, guys? Here with the 23rd shelf of my action movie collection. Starting off with Above the Law and Hard to Kill, both with Steven Seagal. These were fun old school action movies. You know, Steven Seagal before he went straight to DVD. Out of these two, I preferred Above the Law, but they're both pretty solid watches. I believe the woman in Hard to Kill is his ex-wife, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Kelly LeBrock, yep. So, I mean, solid watches if you're a Steven Seagal fan and are a fan of martial arts. Then we have Marked for Death with Steven Seagal. Again, another old school action movie with Steven Seagal back before he did straight to DVDs. Again, just as solid as the other two. Then we have The Patriot with Steven Seagal. This one was probably one of the worst ones that I'd seen of his, I believe. This was in the theater. Don't quote me on that. It might not have been. But Steven Seagal as a scientist is a stretch. You know, no. So this one was the worst out of some of the ones of his I've seen. Then we have Steven Seagal in Ticker with him and Tom Sizemore. This was a pretty solid watch. You know, I'd never heard of this movie before until I found it. And I was happy I did. It was a really, really fun watch. One of those kind of below the radar type of movies. So check this out if you haven't seen it before. Then we have Submerged with Steven Seagal. Now we're into straight to DVD territory here. Yeah, let's see if you can, I don't know if you can really read that. But this is a pretty solid watch. Not his worst straight to DVD release. So, I mean, again, if you're a fan of old school action. Then we have Flight of Fury with Steven Seagal. Again, another solid outing. You know, things haven't taken a turn completely to the south yet for him. So, then we have Black Dawn. This was one of his better straight to DVD releases, in my opinion. Real fun to watch. You know, pretty good budget. Director did a great job making it look big. Action scenes were great. Then we have Attack Force. This one not as good. Kind of boring. Kind of cliche. Kind of knew everything that was going to happen before it happened. You know, so not one of his best outings, but definitely not one of his worst either. Then we have Mercenary for Justice. This was probably one of his best straight to DVD releases he's ever made. I am a huge fan of this movie. You know, if I ever go back to watch an old school Steven Seagal movie that it wasn't Exit Wounds or whatnot, then I would definitely pick this one. So comment down below if you've seen this and let me know what you thought of it. Then we have Belly of the Beast. You know, this one was okay. Wasn't the best, but it was okay. And then we have Out of Reach with Steven Seagal as well here. This one was better than Belly of the Beast. You know, political kind of espionage, bodyguard type movie. Worth checking out. Then we have The Foreigner. This is actually the prequel to Black Dawn, the one I saw, you know, that I showed earlier. And this one was definitely nowhere near as good. So, plays the same character, Jonathan Cold, I believe his name is. But, yeah, definitely not as good as the other one. Then we have Shadow Man. This is kind of along the lines of Attack Force, kind of predictable. Nothing super special, but not horrible either. Like I said, he hasn't taken a turn south yet as far as the Steven Seagal movies I've shown so far. Then we have Today You Die This one was a different type of movie for him. Not, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still action, kung fu, and all that type of stuff, but just like the vibe of this movie and the way it was shot was way different than some of the other stuff I've seen. Who directed this one? He had a different director, which is probably why. But I mean, too bad he didn't work with this director more often. Then we have Out for a Kill. Now, this is one of his worst straight-to-DVD releases, in my opinion. This movie was so cheap. I mean, you could even see, like, with the explosions, that buildings were, like, cardboard. They weren't even, like, wood. So cheaply done. Definitely anywhere near the top of his game for this one. This had to have been a money grab for him. Then we have Into the Sun. Loved this movie as well, just as like Today You Die, shot very differently. Different director, different take. Loved it. Would have loved to have seen him work with some different directors. But he kind of stuck with some of the same directors through a lot of his straight-to-DVD releases. Then we have Half Past Dead. This is one of my more favorite Steven Seagal movies. This is one of my go-tos along with Exit Wounds for him. I'll watch this every couple of years just because, nostalgia reasons. Loved Morris Chestnut as the villain in this movie. Then we have Urban Justice, the king of the B-movies, Steven Seagal, and then Danny Trejo, who's been in everything known to mankind. Solid watch, not horrible. So, I mean, worth checking out if you're a Steven Seagal fan. Then we have Pistol Whipped with Steven Seagal. This one was a real solid one, too. Lance Henriksen did a great job being the villain in this movie. Not as predictable as usual Steven Seagal movies, and he did work with a great director here, Roel Rene. He's done some great straight-to-DVD release movies, so that's a good addition. Then we have Against the Dark, which is Steven Seagal versus vampires. Not the greatest. Great concept, seeing him in something different, but just wasn't pulled off well. So only average. Then we have Driven to Kill. This was one of his better straight-to-DVD releases, in my opinion. Great story, lots of great action. Jeff F. King did a great job directing this movie as well. So definitely worth checking out. Then we have The Keeper. One of his more solid straight-to-DVD releases again. Love Keone Waxman as a director. Great job, makes us feel big even though it's not big. So solid watch right here. Then we have A Dangerous Man, which is just as good as The Keeper. Same director, I believe, too. Yep, same director. Supporting cast was great. Solid story. Throwback to old school action right here. And then lastly, we have A Good Man with Steven Seagal. This one not as great. Same director, Keone Waxman. See, that's what I said. He kind of sticks with the same directors once he finds someone he likes. Not his best movie. He hasn't taken a complete turn south yet. It would come after this movie that his movies would really start to tank for me. But I'd still collect them because I want to try to get all the Steven Seagal movies. But that will do it for this shelf. And yes, it was all Steven Seagal movies. But if you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. I'm also over on Letterboxd. The link to that is over in the profile description of this channel. Otherwise, until next time, guys.